but it was all just an illusion.
And how was it that you created that illusion?
With smoke. And out of that smoke appeared the demons. We swallowed them, we spat them up, and we swallowed them again.
Did you take the demons in by your mouths, then?
By our assholes.
Do you like witch movies? Well, today I've got a very interesting one for you. It's called Coven of Sisters. Back in Spain, this movie is actually called AKELARRE. That's AKELARRE, which means Witches Sabbath. And it was released back in 2019 in Spain, but was just released on March 11 worldwide. So, what is it about? In 1609, the King of Spain was trying to rid a country on its northern border close to France called Basque, B-A-S-Q-U-E, of witches. So he sent out a troop of soldiers along with judges, to give them a fair trial, so to speak, and get them to confess and then to burn them alive. So he wants to get rid of all the witches out of Basque. So back in those times, people were very superstitious and silly and fickle. The least of things would get you accused of witchcraft, right? So one night, 6 girls were dancing somewhere in a forest. And back in those days, that was actually traits of witchcraft. So when that activity was reported to the king, he sent for them directly to try them and burn them. And so they were captured and imprisoned. And most of the movie, the majority of the movie plays out with them in captive, right? So you get to see them being abused and tortured and forced to confess. However, the movie approaches the situation from a different angle from the traditional witch movies, in that it is suggesting that the girls are actually innocent and wrongfully accused. So it somewhat villainizes the captors of these young ladies. And that whole experience, all of what happened while they were imprisoned and the torture and trying to get them to confess and all of that, made for a very interesting watch. A lot of interesting things happened while they were held captive. And I must say, the movie does get you invested. You're really rooting for these girls, want them to either escape somehow or to actually be witches and have powers and eventually deal out retribution upon these people that are persecuting them, right? So it really captures your attention, keeps your focus, wondering what will happen next. So while there, the girl devised a plan which seemed to be going well. It seems as if it was going to work out. But unfortunately, the soldiers kind of found out about the plan. So they were hastily found guilty and set to be executed. However, the girls came up with another plan, which again was very interesting to see. And suddenly, you're back to hoping that they are actually witches and would just magically summon their powers, and deal out retribution or to make some grand escape. You're really hoping that they would just get away from the soldiers. What happens though, in the end, was very inconclusive. It's one of those endings that you have to draw your own conclusion. Like maybe actually this happened or maybe it was actually that happened, right? That's the most I'm going to say because I don't want to spoil it for you. But what happened and the possibility of what it could mean is very interesting and it makes you hopeful. It kind of leaves you wishing there was more of a conclusive ending though. But maybe some of you would disagree, so comment below and tell me what you think about the end of the movie. So, Coven of Sisters was directed by Pablo Aguero and written by Catel Gilou and stars Amaya Aberasturi, who plays Anna, who is the lead character, the main star of the movie. And I must say, all 6 girls were amazing, excellent acting, especially from the lead character and the youngest girl of the 6. There was this young girl who seemed to be about 9-10 years old. She was very, very good. And the cinematography, the lighting, the score, all of those things were perfect. The tone of the movie kind of reminds me of The Witch, which was released back in 2015 by A24. And it's somewhat similar, as in that movie there's also a young girl being accused of witchcraft. So watching this movie, I kind of was reminded of that movie, The Witch. It has a similar kind of feel and pacing, because both movies are slow burners. I mean, this movie was only approximately 1.5 hours, but it still felt like it was moving along very slowly. So someone who don't appreciate drama and a slow burn kind of movie might get turned off by the pacing of this movie, but for me it was okay. Even though it is noticeable, it wasn't a bother for me. I kind of like that slow burn pacing for this movie. You know, it was necessary, because the drama and the tension and all of that definitely kept you on the edge of your seat straight throughout the movie from beginning to end. I'm giving this movie a B. If you like movies that are not necessarily slasher, blood and gore and all that, and you appreciate drama and a good build-up, and if you don't have a problem with a slow-paced, slow-burn kind of film, you definitely will enjoy this one. And by the way, as the movie is set in Spain, there is a lot of Spanish dialogue. I would say about 30% of the dialogue of the movie is in Spanish, and you will have to be doing some reading. But it is mostly in English. So if you don't have a problem reading a few subtitles, then you won't have a problem enjoying this film. So, Coven of Sisters 2021. Have you seen it? If you have, or whenever you do, leave a comment below. Tell me what did you think about the movie and what did you think about the ending. And remember,